Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today I have another breakup story in. And if you have a breakup story you'd like to share, please visit writemac.com. Send it in. I'll take a look at it and possibly review it in a YouTube video like I'm doing right now. So, this gentleman actually mentions that he is a big Corey Wayne follower, and it's helped him a lot in having a good relationship. And if you out there like Corey Wayne, like his videos, and full disclosure, I like his videos. I like his style. Corey Wayne's a cool dude. And I think he gives a lot of good advice. And if there's something that he has said in one of his videos or a lesson from one of his books, he has 2 books now, that resonates with you, please put it in the comments below and share it. And let me know out there. I know that one thing that I've always known him to say is walking away is the... Now I'm going to butcher this. I put myself on the spot. Walking away is the highest level of negotiation and not looking back, right? And that's what you do when you go into no contact. So someone correct me on exactly what he says on that, because I know I'm saying it wrong. But I know he repeats it all the time. Walking away is the highest level of negotiation. So let's get right into this. My girlfriend and I were together for 2 years, and we have now been broken up for about a month. 2 years is a nice little chunk of time. I usually say the honeymoon phase can go up to 2 years, 1.5 to 2 years. Probably average 1 year to 1.5 years. But 2 years is right at the point where people go, what's next? You go like, you have these little plateaus. What's next? What's next? What's next? And then when you get to marriage, that's when people get to marriage. And sometimes after they get married, they go, what's next? I've had people write me after we got married or after we had our first 2 kids, then it's what's next. Well, now it's just pay a mortgage for the next 25 years or 30 years. And that's not very exciting. So there's always got to be a what's next at 2 years, 4 years, 6 years. Our relationship had its ups and downs, but overall, it was really great. Well, you're an optimistic and glass half full guy, I can see. Especially when she broke up with me, surprisingly. I've been a follower of Coach Corey Wayne, Coach Corey, for a while and applied a lot of his methods to the relationship. So I'm confident when I say that it was a healthy and well-off relationship. Well, if you were following a lot of what he suggests, I would say you were on the right path. I've read his book, not 10 times, but I've actually reviewed it on the channel, and I think it's a good book. It's got a lot of good information. I think there's some other books out there that are good also, but if you were following some of the things, goes to show you one set of guidelines or rules doesn't necessarily guarantee that your relationship's going to work out, because you have 2 separate parties or partners with different identities and different values. So no matter what you do, at some point the other person could go the other way for their own reasons. Anyway, he writes, anyway, I usually live with her 5 days out of the week for school, and we had been planning and talking about moving in together at the end of her lease in a few months. We were even arguing, not seriously, but what kind of dog we were going to get. Well, that's a pretty minor argument. Then one day she decided she wanted to go to law school. One day, it came out of nowhere. I was supportive of this. My only condition was that I did not want to move too far away, and she agreed to this. About 2 weeks later, she said she could not picture a future with anyone. Well, if you're in university, things tend to change like that. And right when you finish school, that's when someone goes, oh, I haven't traveled the world yet. I've never known what it's like to be single. So it's not you, it's timing and circumstance. I know that sucks, but that's what it is. I did not want to move far away. Sorry, I lost my place. She says she can't see herself ever living with anyone, and she gets panicked at the idea of moving in with someone she is in a relationship with. So she has major issues with living with someone. That's something from her past. Probably doesn't have as much. She says that she can never live with someone she is dating ever. So she liked the idea that you weren't living together. That's why. She said she thinks this is because she has had to watch her mother go through 2 failed marriages. Yep, that's why. She's given you the reason. So she has a map of significance or reasons why she feels this way so strongly, and it has nothing to do with you, your behavior, or your following of Corey Wayne's guidelines. She also swears that this has nothing to do with her decision to go to law school, but just that she cannot live with anyone. So you might be thinking, yeah, she can live with me. She just doesn't know right. She's just confused. No, this is what she believes deep down. It's very powerful wording when she says, I cannot live with anyone. That's very, very powerful subconscious speaking that she believes cannot. She's not even willing to try. She says she never wants to date someone seriously like she did with me again, because if I can't move in with you, then I won't be able to with anyone. So she's basically just making a stand based on her beliefs, and honestly, she's scared. She's scared of reliving her mother's 2 marriages that she witnessed and they didn't work out. That's what she's doing. She says that she is in love with me, but she thinks I will be better off without her and doesn't want to waste my time anymore. Well, when she's saying that, she also doesn't want to waste her time anymore because she believes inevitably that you will break up and she will be heartbroken. So by her breaking up with you, she takes control and feels like it was her choice, and that's a lot more reassuring than being hurt by you down the road. And honestly, she's in a place where she doesn't feel like she deserves a good relationship for some reason. Probably because this kind of thought snuck into her mind and it made her feel bad. At first, I was supportive and tried to talk to her into going to counseling together, which she agreed to do, but I was angry with her and I allowed myself to get insecure and needy, which I never was in the relationship. But when she wanted to break up, I just lost control of myself. Very common, dude. It's not your fault. It's circumstance. Once I got needy, she ended things and now says she will go to counseling, but only to help me make sense of it all. We have been broken up for a month now, but I have been pleading, trying to convince her to change her mind the entire time. Well, if you know Corey Wayne, you know that's not going to work in his book and my book also. So you are backpedaling on everything, right? She quickly began treating me shitty and being mean when I would call and ignoring my texts altogether. Take control and go into no contact. End negotiations, man. She says we are done, and she does not feel like working on the problem right now at all. Unfortunately, just because you want to work on the problem and you can see the problem doesn't mean she wants to address it. She just wants to be alone. Okay, she's telling you what she wants. Leave her alone. Take that as clarity. It hurts. It sucks. But it's clarity. Now leave her alone and do you. Move forward. We work together and she is nice at work but acts like she's completely unfazed by it all. She's phased. Trust me. If you've been together 2 years and had a good relationship, she's phased. But right now, and this is in a moment, that's why no contact's important. If someone's flustered or being out of character, they need time to rework things in their mind and miss you. Yesterday, I texted her apologizing for being angry with her instead of being supportive when trying to help us work through this. I told her that if she decided she wants to work on together to contact me and let me know, but I have no interest in just being friends with her. Okay, you just declared something that you needed to say, but it wasn't going to be effective in getting her back. That's something deep down you felt like you needed to say. Now you need to go all in on no contact. Stop now, okay? And declaring that you don't want to be just friends. You did it, now be in no contact. I now plan on using no contact. Do you have any insight or advice on where to go from here? Yeah, stay in no contact, do you. I'll send you 10 questions to ponder. Go through those, readdress who you are moving forward as an individual. Strongly consider doing a live coaching session with myself, Corey Wayne, or whoever else you trust to get everything out from that 2-year relationship. You know, when I do a coaching session, a lot of times it's 2 hours. It's not 1 hour. It's usually 2 hours. And someone just needs someone to listen to the whole thing, beginning to end, pick through everything. And at the end, you feel like you finally just went through your whole closet and picked out all the shit you don't use anymore and kept the stuff you really like. But the difference is when you go back through your story with someone like myself, I don't know how Coach Corey Wayne does it, but we're gonna take a look at everything and go, all right, let's reframe this. Let's look at this. I mean, there was a guy a couple of weeks ago that he wasn't willing to meet his girlfriend's father, And he was like, oh, it's too soon. I'm like, well, why was it too soon? He goes, well, my last relationship, the father-in-law was really mean to me and treated me shitty and this and that. I go, well, that's the issue. Let go of that father-in-law. We just needed to unpack that and see what the reason was. And immediately he let his guard down. And he was like, you know what? You're right, man. Like, he wasn't looking at it that way. So we got to, or like I said with another coach, go through it and really go through each thing so you got some clarity moving forward, because you need to move forward now. Yesterday I texted her apologizing for being angry and okay, sorry, I lost my place here. I know this is a somewhat different situation than normal because our relationship was pretty good. No, it's not different because let me see what your age was here. You didn't write your age, but I believe you said you were in university. You know, if you're in a relationship in your early 20s or just coming out of school, what happens is, even though you were in a good relationship, you had two changes. Now you were going to live together, and now she's going to law school. So right now she's in a mode where she's in change. One of the changes she didn't like the idea of, and the other change she's excited to go to law school probably. So, and she ended probably whatever school she was in prior to law school. So there was a transition phase where you're like, all right, now I need to make some decisions moving forward. And that's what she's doing. Also, her situation has nothing to do with your behavior. It has to do with her past and her relationship towards living with someone or trusting a long-term relationship, because her mother's had 2 failed marriages. I'm not trying to sound overconfident or cocky, but I really did behave like one should during the relationship, and my neediness and insecurities only came out in the end. Well, they came out in the end, though. I mean, don't get down on yourself, but you weren't bulletproof, right? Just because you acted so well during the relationship doesn't mean you are still susceptible to having a breakup. You can do everything right, and something can go wrong that had nothing to do with what your behavior. Then you overcompensated at the end, which many people do. So don't be hard on yourself about that. I'm also 100% sure I did not do something to turn her off of the relationship. Okay, here's your clarity. You wanted to go to the next step and live together. She didn't, because of past experiences in her life. You're a slave to your past a lot of times. Had nothing to do with the way you were directly treating her from what you've told me. She has agreed to go to counseling, but only for me, because she's taking control of the situation and she thinks you're pity seeking. She doesn't want you to tell her to go to therapy or counseling, okay? She doesn't want to do that. And just the fact, if she ends up going there for you, you don't need to go. You're going there for her. So what, I mean, you don't feel like you did anything wrong, but you think you need counseling? Should I maintain no contact until school is over in 2 weeks and then ask her to go with me and maybe reconnect? Or maybe she'll even see how insane she's being after talking to a counselor. Going to therapy and she's saying that she's going to it for you, you have to have a good mindset before you go in. It's like when someone does a coaching session with me, you have to have the mindset like, look, I've watched a lot of your videos. I like your approach. It resonates with me. So when we get into a video right from the get, or a live coaching session, right from the get-go, you already know where I'm coming from on my approach and the way I talk. So you're comfortable, and by paying money, right, you're saying, all right, I'm committed to this. With her going to the counselor and saying, yeah, I'm just going there for you, means she's not committed to fixing her own problem. It's not going to work. Or should I just completely keep up no contact and move on? I would completely keep up no contact and move on. Yes. And that's attractive. If she's going to come back to you and realize how good a relationship you had, if like you believe you had a good relationship, she needs to realize that on her own. You don't need to be pumping it to her in a counseling session. Any help is appreciated. This has been the hardest breakup of my life, and I feel like I'm going crazy. Well, in that case, like I said, seriously consider about doing a live coaching session with myself or Corey Wayne or one of the other coaches, because it really does help to get it all out there. And it gives you, I call it, you're lost in the woods and someone's there to give you a map and a compass. I'm not going to cure you. I'm not going to get your ex back, but I can certainly help you and give you some useful and helpful information moving forward. Because what happens is we get stuck in that mouse wheel in our head and we keep going backwards. Okay? So I hope that helps you. Please visit rightmac.com if you've got a breakup story. If you like my channel, subscribe or like this video, please. Now, click. If you got any questions or topics for videos, put them in the comments. So, thank you for supporting the channel.